Hi everyone, welcome to another new episode of the podcast. This is another episode of Business and the Taboo series that I've created. And for anyone who hasn't listened to the previous ones, it's basically a series of podcast episodes that I interview women who are expertise in their field that is connected to what would be considered taboo things and how it actually supports you in your business. So today we have Zoey, which I'm so excited to chat to. You're gonna love Zoey. Myself and Zoey met when we were doing our female sexuality training. So Zoey, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, tell people whatever you want them to know, and tell them where you're based as well, because it's not Ireland.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. My name is Zoe. I am based in California, the United States. I have an integrative practice, meaning I have a pretty broad range of modalities that I kind of use into, let's just say, the root of it being massage therapy. But I'm also a mystic. I'm a mother. I'm a nurturer. I like to consider myself kind of this transfer base for people. People come in, they're ready to, it's almost like if it was, since we're kind of talking about tarot, we're, on the like the cliff edge, like the fool, like, hey, I'm really needing something to shift. How do I get to the other side? And I tend to like to say I light blast people a lot. So I kind of energetically shift them to get them to the other side. So my practice involves massage therapy, tarot, intuitive Reiki, and then also feminine embodiment. Dominique and I did the feminine sexuality class together. So bringing women back into their pleasure, back into their birthright, back into their body. And that just kind of goes along the lines of, just that transformational space. And then I also do karmic clearings and pendulum work and so just kind of all of the esoteric stuff. That's my jam.
Yeah, I love. Do you know what I love, Zoe? I love listening to how, like, obviously we've done the training together, but how each and every individual wraps it up in their own unique bow.
Yes. Oh my, everyone has just spread out in a different route. And I love that for everyone. It affected everyone so deeply. I mean, I know because we were in the container together that it wasn't just for learning, like to teach the other, but it also was like such a deep journey for each other. And I mean, my life completely shifted, especially once I went and saw all of you. I traveled over to the UK to do a retreat with everybody, and that trip wrecked me, but in all the ways that it needed to shift. It really spun my life into where it is now, which is amazing and awesome and connected and intuitive and expanding and abundant. So
All the feminine.
all the feminine, yes, yeah. The one I'm still working on is the, maybe the more like passive, like get out of the masculine, like hustle culture. But I believe that you can do that in a feminine way as well. So that's my current project is how to still be that kind of go-getter, hustler, but also in the more like receptive, intuitive, receiving dynamic.
Yes, I love that. So yeah, the reason I invited you on, Zoe, is because I received tarot off you. I also received the karmic clearing off you as well. But today we are going to, I suppose the focus is going to be on tarot. So when I received the reading off you, well, firstly, I was drawn to you for the reading, because obviously I knew you and I knew your background and I knew that you weren't afraid of all the stuff that a lot of people are, like, especially when we learn about sex and we become more embodied in it, more in the body, more in the feminine. A lot of people and women are afraid of that, and I understand why. Um, but because you had that, that was why I was more drawn to you, because I was like, she will talk about whatever. You know, she's not gonna hold back. It's not gonna make her feel uncomfortable. She's just gonna let it all out. But
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I've been seeing a lot of other intuitives kind of posting about what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. Like, have you ever received a reading where you've just been kind of shook afterwards, right? Where you're like, oh, that just didn't land with me. And so really like gauging the channel, and like sometimes I get into a reading, especially relationship reading, I'm like, oh man, how do I say this in in a way that isn't to detriment to the other? And I always like to preface, like, I don't do a lot of relationship readings because it's not exactly my vibe. But if someone is asking and we check in, I'll be like, hey, don't go break up with your partner because of this reading. This is just what I'm seeing. These are the themes that I am seeing around this person and or your guys' connection.
yeah, because everybody like, and I know this from doing mediumship readings, what you say, people think that it's written in stone. And they take it literal. And I remember always having to say, like before I start the reading, what I'm being told, what the information I'm sharing with you, it's up to you what you do with this, and it's your responsibility. It's not mine. So don't. And also, years ago, like way years ago, when I would have received readings, now before I was in like open or anything like that, I would have literally hung on the word of the reader, like, and well, they said this, so I have to do this, or like, and my life was revolving around those readings. I'm like, where is everything I'm being promised?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And same with, I'll have people be like, I don't know, I got my tarot cards read and she said I was gonna die at 79. And I'm like, okay, let's just back out of that. There's no predicting death, none of that. Let's just, walk away from any sort of like detrimental, you are doomed reading, because what we know about tarot is that it isn't a fixed prediction. These are the aspecting elements currently affecting you mostly within your subconscious than anything else, right? This is your energy, and this reading does not mean that it has a fixed outcome. It's kind of like, choose your own adventure, right? Now you have this knowledge of these patterns and these themes that are coming up. You can now go down, take door number one, door number two, or maybe we'll pull a wild card and do door number three, right? So nothing is fixed ever. And that's why I think coming back for continuous readings, like I have clients, sometimes they do yearly, like on their birthday is a big one. Okay, I want my, yearly birthday spread. Some people are bi-monthly, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a tool to kind of help you get along with the current aspects, kind of like astrology, right? Like it's ever changing, ever moving. So nothing is fixed.
Yeah, so it's like it's a divination tool, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. It's a divination tool that traditionally people have used for predicting the future. And like I said, yes, you can see the current themes, and you definitely can see, like, okay, hey, an opportunity is coming in, and then, oh my God, hey, I got that job offer, or hey, that person reached out to me. So you can use it as tools like that and be like, hey, the way that you're going currently has this outcome. And then sometimes like you're like, oh, I pulled the tower, and you're like, oh wait, put that one back. I don't, I'm not ready for the tower. But regardless, it's just showing that, hey, things are shifting deeply inside of you, and you're gonna kind of go through everything feels like it's collapsing time period, but really, as we're, told, it's always for the better, right? We have to shed things in order to be able to grow and renew and rebuild.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I wanted to invite you on to speak about like how to use this tool as a part of like your business strategy. Because like when I received the reading off you, I got so much information about my business. And oh my God, remember the time about the book? Do you remember the book? You were like, you should get this book. And I was like, I'm reading this book.
Yes.
That was the best. That was the best. But yeah, so I'm after losing my train of thought.
I know.
Yeah, right. So
So good.
now I know where I'm going now, I think. Yeah. So I invited you on to talk about like oh, yes, now I know where I'm going. So like a lot of the advice that you gave me, and this is why I've created this series, is because we a lot of people classify esoteric and taboo as in that's too mystical, it's intangible, it's not practical. But actually, the information that you provided me with, and going back to the other women that I interviewed, very, very practical, very tangible, advice that I got um for steps that I needed to take. Like we go back to what we were saying, like it was up to me. You provided the information, and it was up to me to take the steps or not. Like choose door one, two, or the wild card, like you said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that it really helps outline, like in terms of business, right? It can really help create a scope of your gifts, your challenges, what really fuels you. Like you can ask very specific questions. What's my life purpose? It's not going to necessarily say your life purpose is, but it's going to be like, hey, your life purpose finds you in a space that's soft and intuitive and nurturing and healing, or it's you need to be in a fast pace, quick ideas, critical thinking, et cetera, et cetera. So you can kind of gauge it with like, okay, who am I as a person from a outside perspective, right? Like we're all human, so it's easy to get lost in that ego of who you are in tarot, kind of like I started using tarot almost more in a psychological way, like for like therapy, right? Oh, I need some outside guidance that isn't subjected to my own ego. Let me use these cards to be able to kind of see what challenges I may be going through, and it can give you a lot of, hey, this is actually not in alignment with what you're doing. This is doling your energy. This is doling your light versus, hey, this is bright. You're feeling fueled from this. You're really shining. Others are seeing you. You're having a platform, etc. So completely valuable tool.
absolutely. And like, so for us, we're very soul-led leaders. And the same way, like, and it was soul-led leaders who I was speaking to, like, so we, as you said, we are human. And because of like the noise of the outside world, we get so much in the ego. What can I do? And it's like, well, if you're leading from soul, you're leading from God. And that's like ultimately, like God is channeling through this, like through these cards, and like God, your spirit guide, source, the universe, whatever the name is that you have for our creator. It's like it's coming from pure love, and
Yeah.
it's not leading you astray like the noise of the outside world. It's actually bringing you back into self, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why sometimes you hear things that you don't want to hear, right? You're like, wait a second, I wasn't ready to get hit with that. But was it necessary along my journey? It was, because it made me think a little more clearly and go, actually, you're right. I do need to switch that up. Or actually, I am being a little too, boastful or whatever the situation is. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, like, so for anyone who doesn't, like, has no clue what the tarot is, has never seen them, has never heard the word, or like has never been introduced, could you give like a little summary of like, or whatever, what is the tarot?
So it is 2025. So there is so many different versions of tarot, but the basic um compilation of tarot is a deck of 72 cards split into major arcana, which I can get into detail, is essentially, let's just call it the fool's journey. So you go through 0 to 21, and then the rest of the cards are split into like cups, swords, wands, pentacles, or discs, whatever you refer to them as, and then also a set of court cards. So, like as we've been talking, it's an esoteric tool traditionally used for predicting the future, but you can use it as just like inner reflection, current themes going on around you, and you could start a daily practice of, okay, I'm just going to pull one card a day and see what my theme for the day is. I don't know how deep into the cards you want me to get, because that feels like a whole like
Yeah, that
lesson.
yeah, that will be might be here for a while.
Yeah. But anyways, a lot of people, and still actually one of my best friends who is entirely a mystic, we called ourselves stone mates because when we met when I was living in Chicago, we always, both of us just would get to work and just have all these crystals in our pocket, and we would be like, stone mates. She was terrified of tarot, though. As a mystic, as a natural intuitive woman, loved crystals, loved everything, was just terrified of tarot because she just was afraid of the future, right? Afraid of what it was saying. Well, I don't want to know because so and so, whatever her reasons were. And I think as we start to dismantle these ideologies of tarot that really have been put on us, usually from stricter religious bases that think of anything on the intuitive level as working within the devil or demons or bad energies, is that it isn't. It's actually working with your spirit guides and your higher self and your ascended masters. Now, should you make sure that there isn't any interfering energies out there? Absolutely. I always recommend setting up just a protective circle and really being like, hey, I only allow in beings of love and light, and making sure you are protecting yourself, because yes, there are nefarious energies out there. So make sure you're clear. Make sure, I do like to mention, like, not being intoxicated is a huge factor. It's something that I had to learn, especially in my younger years where I was a bit more of a partier, and it'd be 3 in the morning and we'd all have a bunch of drinks and,
Whipping the
and we're all
tarot.
pulling doing tarot. Which, hey, a couple glasses of wine, whatever. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you're clear minded, because as much as enjoying an alcoholic beverage every now and again is okay, but I do think it is a portal to those more nefarious energies to kind of tap in and take control of your tarot. I had a tarot deck a long time ago. It was the Thoth deck by Aleister Crowley. And I had a relationship with this deck. It's one of my oldest decks. I believe the first time I got the deck, I was 14 years old. And it was a deck that would like appear and then I would lose it. And it would appear and then I lose it. And then there was a period of time where I was just getting nonstop negative cards. And I had to put the deck away because I was like, first off, I was young. I wasn't as experienced as I am today. So it was very confusing for my adolescent mind to be getting all these negative cards and not knowing how to read them appropriately and with proper discernment that they are cards. So backtracking, that's just what I like to say, is make sure you're in a safe space, you're lighting a candle, you're burning some sage or whatever modality you use for cleansing space, whether that be crystals, sweet grass, whatever's native to your area, making sure you cleanse your deck all the time before you use it, and make sure you have that protective bubble around you. So
I love that you mentioned about the protection, because the protection is huge. And I don't think it gets
huge.
talked about a lot. I've had experiences recently as well with dark energy. Um, you know, and I didn't think we were gonna take it here, but it's automatically coming here because like everything created by God, like, everything's created by God. Yes, we mainly focus on the light, but dark exists and dark is created by God as well. But we have to protect ourselves because especially if we are light, it's like moths to a flame. So I love that you told them exactly what to do because I even do that if I'm just like I do that when I'm just doing the podcast as well. And like I do it in literally everything. It's not just readings or anything but like protection is like super important, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I really didn't start using protection bubbles. Okay. Okay, so just recently starting to use protective bubbles, but what I also think is the most important is actually asking permission. So I've gotten into asking my clients, hey, do I have permission to access your auric field or whatever we're doing? Because it's kind of like entering someone's house, right? You want to be like, hey, can I come inside? I know that also can kind of be like vampiric, or you're like, I won't come in until you invite me, but it's but it's on the light side of things, it's polite, right? You don't want to be entering someone's bubble and digging into some crevices that they don't want you digging into. So asking permission is just also as important as making that bubble and protecting yourself. So it's kind of the same as, I started back when I was very little. I was very sensitive to spirits. And so I was holding seances in my dad's closet at like 9, 10 years old. But even back then, there was like, there's the opening, and then do not forget to close it because those spirits will stay in your house. And, I'm pretty sure I opened so many portals as a young girl messing with this stuff that yeah, all my houses were haunted.
Ugh,
Every single one of them because I'm like, let's conjure the spirits, and then oh, that's okay, we didn't close it. It's fine. They're cool. We'll leave that
they'll
open.
leave us alone.
Yeah, no big deal.
And how did you get into tarot then? Because like by listening to what you're saying, you were doing things at a very young age.
Yeah, so I think when I was younger, so just to kind of go back, I was very sensitive to spirits, and I had a nanny who was Native American, had Native American roots, and so she had a lot of those holistic practices. And because I was sensitive and seeing spirits regularly as a young girl, she is the first one that taught me how to make an altar because naturally I was scared every single night. I was like, I need to crawl in bed with someone. This is scary for me. I'm really being affected. So she's the first one that brought in like creating an altar. Here's some crystals. They make you feel protected. Anytime you're feeling scared, go to your altar. So she kind of planted those seeds, and then I just kind of was naturally very witchy. Like I remember having this like giant, pink cauldron is what I called it in my backyard, and would fill it with, snails and, gross stuff, sludge, let's just say. But I'm making potions. And anyway, so I think it was with me since the very beginning. But she's the first one who ever gifted me a tarot deck, was this nanny. And that was about 12 or 13. It was pretty young. I think I was in middle school. But before I actually got a deck of tarot, me and my girlfriends would use regular playing cards, and we had this system with playing cards. And of course, it was crushes. Who do we have a crush on, right? We're gonna, lay out, oh, he's thinking about me. Oh, he's gonna ask me out, right? Just the typical, preteen, teenage girl. So cards were always just a natural thing that I gravitated towards. So then I received received this tarot deck at 12, 13 years old. It was the traditional Raider Waite deck. And I just started playing with them. That was it. And my mom also, I remember she lived up in Alaska, so I went to visit her one time, and this was the first time that the Thoth deck came into my hands. And she had me clean this crystal shop because my mom was a house cleaner, and she's like, "Hey, if you go clean this crystal shop, she'll do a trade with you and she'll give you a reading." So I received my first reading about that age. Yeah, I think it was 14. And then I got a tarot deck from her, and the journey just began from there.
Amazing. So are you kind of self-taught then?
Yeah, definitely always very, very self-taught. And I mean, I had to do my own study, but I've never had a mentor with tarot. I've just, lots of books, lots of random books, and studying it, and then YouTube videos. I think once I was about 25 and was really ready to get serious about understanding the structure, then it was like, okay, wait, there's a whole system here. I'm kind of a video learner anyways. Like I need to see and read, like I need all the things to learn. So YouTube was a really big, move the needle for me, just understanding what each suit meant. Because there's within the cards, there's also like numerology, there's like 1 to 10. And even though you have different suits, which have different structural meanings, the ones, the twos, the threes also kind of have a basic structural meaning that you can then tie into your readings to kind of start memorizing, right? What the twos mean, but the twos of cups and the two of wands and the two of swords and the two of discs, etc. So, yep, lots of books, lots of YouTube readings.
Oh, amazing. Recently I started using like tarot for like my creations to help me tap
Oh,
into creativity. Like so I actually, have you heard of Benabel Wen?
no, I haven't.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So she, oh my God, this woman is like amazing, right? She is so she's a lawyer, okay? But she's written books like the I Ching, tarot books. She has this website, right? And her website, like she has courses on her website, but then she has loads of free resources, like I mean loads. And I'm like, how does it like that's not even her full-time job? Like her full-time job is being like a lawyer. And I'm like, how is she after creating all this? But she's so, so connected. But yeah, I found some resources on her website. And I've started to use it for like my creative projects, because like for me, I feel things so much, so I can feel what I'm creating, but to get it into simplified words, like I'm like, but I can feel this. Can you not feel this? But to put it into words that people understand, it can be a bit tricky for me. Like, so actually, like what I've been doing with the tarot is it's been helping me understand how to actually like put it into words to simplify it so that people can understand it. So yeah. So I
That's
love,
amazing.
yeah, I started to do that recently. Like, but have you got any ways that you use the tarot specifically for business, or you said that you originally start using it for like your mind and stuff like that?
Yeah, so in terms of business, I do a lot of like checking in, especially about like finances, because if I'm like having a good like money month, I'm like, oh, okay, we're flowing. Maybe I need to check in about what my strategy could be to sustain this income. And then also if I'm having a bad money month and I'm like, I don't want to say bad money month because I don't want to put the word bad around money, a slower month, right? Maybe my books aren't as full. So I'll kind of check in with my tarot to be like, hey, what energies are influencing my finances right now? Or what can I do to stimulate growth? And, just do a little spread there so I can kind of see, hey, what's impacting me? What am I possibly doing? What is my stance right now? Definitely don't want to be seeing the Five of Pentacles up there, but sometimes that comes up. So, we want to see the Ace of Discs or an abundance, right? So, anyways, so just checking in like that is a really good tool in terms of like looking at your financial matters. It also, like, for an example, this doesn't really necessarily have to do with business, but it kind of was like money focused.
Yeah.
And me and my partner decided to buy this like 1977 Chinook motorhome that we were going to go pick up. And I decided, well, let me do like a little reading, because in my natural intuitive space, I was like, there's no way this, like, and just logical, there's no way this 77 is going to make it from Salt Lake City back to California. It's like half, that's a good like 1,400 miles away from where I'm at. And so I decided to do a little tarot spread, and it really was able to help me look at like, hey, we can, there's going to be some like unexpected mechanical issues are going to come up. This is going to come up. There's going to be a pause. It's not going as fast as you want it to go up. And of course, I'm then calling my partner. I'm like, we just need to ship the car. I was like, we just need to ship it. My tarot cards are telling me not good, unexpected things are going to pop up. And then he's over here like, well, maybe it just means that you're not meant to drive it back. And I was like, eye roll. Okay. So, anyways, long story long, when we go to pick up this 1977 Chinook, I decide, you know what? I already have this knowledge. It's not going to go smooth. This is going to be bumpy. It's going to drain our pockets. There's a lot of factors. And sure enough, we hit the road, and an hour outside of Salt Lake City, that engine blows. And then we spent the entire rest of the journey towing it from here to here, guzzling money into it. I mean, it was a disaster. And I just had to cross my arms and just be like, told you so. So, anyways, and once again, that is an example of how we don't necessarily, like, tarot is a guide. It is giving us outside guidance about the best measures for us to take. We don't have to listen to them. We still have free will, but it knew, hey, this is the process and this is the journey, and you're going to make it home. Don't worry, you're going to make it home. It just might not be as expected. And sure enough, we abandoned that vehicle in Las Vegas and we flew home. So
I'd say he listened to your advice next time.
yeah, my partner maybe doesn't believe in my tarot cards as much as I do. And I think after this trip, it was a little more like,
Yeah.
maybe it isn't so phony. And I do remember, because I was at a retreat prior. So I did this like women's retreat, and then I flew from Oregon to Salt Lake City. And while I was at the retreat, once again, we're like pulling cards every day. And all of my cards were just like these detrimental, like, looks like all things are falling apart for you right now. And I'm like at this like peaceful, awesome, like women's retreat. And I'm like, oh God. I was like, well, at least I'm getting grounded before all of this happens, right? And it was, we went through a really traumatic, exhausting journey with this van. But I was so grounded, and I was mentally prepared that this was potentially going to happen. So it wasn't as upsetting as, it could have been. And we were also prepared for those things to happen, right? It was something I was very grateful on the journey was, well, we were prepared. it's like I kind of went into this, hey, we may be stranded on the side of the road, dead, our vehicle is dead. So let's make sure that we have Motorhome AAA, which is a towing service, to be able to come and pick us up. Right. And so we had those tools because I had this external knowledge to kind of support us on, the journey, whether or not it was a demise, which I also would like to mention. Something that really came up for me on this journey was I was seeing so many angel numbers. I was even like, we had a mechanic in the middle of the desert. He like spilt some oil and picked it up and it was a heart, and so I was like getting lost in all these like, oh, well, but my angels are here and they're supporting me. Like I'm seeing all these angel numbers. So it means that this is a safe passage, right? And by the time the engine just completely blew, I kind of sat there a little confused, like, but I've been seeing all the signs, like the green moth and the heart and the angel numbers. And I had to remind myself that just because we're seeing a lot of angel numbers or all of these signs that we've, connected to, doesn't mean that it's going to go smooth, but it does mean that we're being supported in that moment. And these are still signs from your spirit team being like, hey, you're going through a hard time. You are going to come out the other end. Right. And I think that's a hard thing for people when we start going through challenging, situations in life, as we kind of get stuck in this doom mindset. And our guides are sending us all these signs that are like, don't worry. Yes, it sucks now, but I'm still sending you messages to say, hey, like I kind of said before, you may not get there the way you originally intended, but you are going to get there. So I'd like to mention that because that was a valuable lesson that I learned, was that don't be confused just because you're seeing a bunch of angel numbers that it means you're necessarily going the right way, but that you are still being supported and you are safe, even if you're in a very kind of rocky situation.
Yeah, the last maybe 2 weeks since the full moon, because I am shifting now to streamline my business to focus on money. Okay. So I have been like obviously I'm moving through a lot myself, like, because I'm directing my business now, in a new way. So it's new, So we always have all this stuff coming up. There's a lot of stuff going on in my chart at the moment. I have my Jupiter return, which everyone's like, yay! However, my Jupiter is connected to Chiron, and
Ooh.
it has like three oppositions. It has a square. It's in a trine with Pluto, but it's Pluto. So I have a lot going on. I'm very, very emotional, but I keep seeing, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm crying all the time. Like, but I'm moving through stuff as well, like I'm not avoiding anything. And I keep seeing 11:11, and I know that's them saying, it's okay. You're gonna get through it. Like, it's not me thinking, oh, I see 11:11, and in 2 seconds my whole life is gonna change. But it's like, it's that I have your back. Don't be worrying. Just do what you need to do. You will get out of this.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So I just feel that it's naturally come to a close. So Zoe, I'm gonna invite you to share with people like your offerings. Yeah, share with people your offerings, and I will like put all your details below of how to find you.
Awesome. So offerings, I typically charge 111 for an hour for a tarot reading, but I wanted to offer, if you mention this YouTube video, you'll get a discounted $88 reading. I used to offer readings shorter than 1 hour, but then I realized I'm never able to talk for under an hour. So I only offer hour plus readings because it's gonna go far, because we're not hitting surface level stuff. We're going deep. We want to get to the craters. We want to excavate, and we want to get whatever you're seeking out. I also do the karmic clearings using the Liberated Lightworker set. And so that's a series of 147 different charts that I use a pendulum to clear anything from ancestral wounding, genetics, stuff. It could be physical, it could be money, it could be, it pretty much it'll clear anything that needs to be cleared. And we access that using your spirit guides and ascended masters. Once again, I typically charge $165 for a reading, and I'm going to bring that one down to 111 if you mention this YouTube video. And I think that's it. I think I'm going to stay there with my two offerings. I do the feminine embodiment, but that's kind of a more layered thing. So that's a whole kind of coaching program, rather than just like a one session situation. So you can share my info, and if anyone is kind of interested in going deeper. And then, of course, if you're local to my area, I do offer massage, and can offer Reiki as well, long distance. So
Amazing. Now, I just want to, because it's like this is going live in October. However, YouTube and podcasts will be up forever. So there has to be, what's your limitation? What's your limit in time on that offer? Thank you so much for the listeners, but like this could be up forever and someone texts you in 7 years' time and you're like, you said.
you know what? I'm just going to have it be long standing because the video is meant to find you at the exact moment it is meant to find you. And if it happens to be 7 years down the way and you're like, hey, I found this video, I heard that this was your offering, I will honor that. However, it is a one-time thing. So and I do remember pretty much everyone that I've ever worked with. If it's been a long time, it may take a second, but then as soon as we start talking, it's going to click. So I will remember. So one time use, no expiration. If this video finds you in 10 years, it is meant to find you in 10 years. And I am so here for your journey and to support you on that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So we have a little special thing that we said that you would do for the listeners. So you are going to do a little tiny little tarot spread for the listeners. So I will be quiet and you do your thing.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to stick to 3 cards and we're just going to go through it. So I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. I'm going to channel in.
And it be business focused.
Okay, business focused. And I like to say, the reading isn't going to be for everyone. It is for those, it's going to resonate with some, it isn't going to resonate. And also, it's all about timing. Sometimes I rewatch videos that I made when I first started coming out as a professional tarot reader back in 2022, and it will hit different. Like I have a thing on my page where it was like, I did like a 3-card pick a deck. And I'll still go and pick a deck, whichever one is, landing to me. Okay, so the first card that's coming up is the World, which typically means we're coming up to some kind of completion, but ours is sitting here in reverse, meaning that there's some stagnation within your business, like there isn't an alignment, or you could be completing a cycle in your development, whether that's in a job that you're just not feeling an alignment with, whether that's a project, whether that's hey, I'm actually needing to detour my attention. The World is positive regardless if it's in a reverse position or upright, because it's the world, it's the universe. It's reminding us that we have power over our life in most situations, right? We can manifest anything that we want. So if we're coming up into a reverse world situation, we're needing to reevaluate where we're feeling in alignment within our career, within our business, within our finances. So let's dig a little deeper and see what the world wants to share with us. Oh my God, of course, we're going to get the Tower and the Page of Pentacles. Okay, we called it. I knew it. It's like, I almost don't mention the Tower in any situation because I'm like, don't mention the Tower. It'll appear. Anyways, okay, so this really is huge because we have the World reverse, which means we're stopping a job, right? We're not feeling an alignment. Something needs to shift. The tower is then coming in to really be like, sorry, time to shed it. Well, currently this year is year of the snake. Maybe it's not when you see this video, but it means that you need to let go of everything that's around you. So you're going into an era where everything seems to be falling apart, but we're ending with the Page of Pentacles, which means that you are getting that new offering. You are getting a new job. A new contract is coming, a new tidbit of inspiration. So you have to push all of this away. Your old life is over. It's done. And this is in total alignment with the current astrology, which is Uranus switching into Gemini. So everyone currently is seeing a lot of big shifts. So whether or not, whatever that timeline is, you're meant to see this when you know business is not hitting the way that it once inspired you. When you first started whatever job or, entrepreneur adventure, that's fine. It's okay for things to come to a close and not be in alignment anymore, because you have a gift coming after the tower. After the tower, you have a gift. And the gift is, look, he's literally like serving up like pentacles. He's like, the money is coming. Don't worry. Just get at it. Just like take off your old clothes. That suit doesn't look good on you anymore. Take it off. Get a new outfit. It's time to reconstruct who you are, because there's that part of you that's really ready to shine and make some money. New
Yes.
money, new inspiration.
I love that reading because I'm like, from what I just said there, I was like, yes, see, I can relate. That's so, yeah, I'm in the
It's
tower.
for me, it's
I'm in the
for
tower. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Zoe, for coming on. This has been amazing. So fun. It's like so
me.
fun.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
Amazing. So I will share your details. And yeah, if anyone, like, I would totally recommend Zoe, like for everything. But what I've had tarot and the karmic clearing, both amazing. I'm so grateful for you for offering listeners that discount forever.
Yay! Forever.
Forever and never. Yeah, so I will leave Zoe's details down below and then you can connect her. So I will see you shortly for everyone listening.